What's shaking, guys? Luke Dancy here. I am excited today to talk all about the DMC Elites Pro Gaffs. Let's just jump right into this. I have got not one but two guests with me. Here they come. There they are,
Bacteria.
DMC and Phil Smith. What's up, guys?
Hi,
Hi,
Luke.
Luke.
For doing this.
All right. No, man. Thank you guys for
Good
both
evening.
doing this. I know DMC, you're out and about, so
I'm so sorry if there's background noise. It was the very, very best I can do in North London. So I'm in the reception of a gym. But
Good news is that by the end of this video, you'll have been inducted into the gym, Luke, so you'll be able to use all of the free weights and everything. It'll be fine.
pretty soon.
got to get buffed. All right. Well, speaking of buffed, you guys have taken something that was already great and you just made it a lot better. We're talking about the DMC Elites, which honestly, guys, I'm going to talk one-on-one to the guys watching. The best Mart deck, personally, I've ever seen. I have got one. I love it. When you see the marks, you can't not see them. We've talked about all that before. The best thing is it's just got better now because they've added gaffs with the DMC Elites. And I'm super stoked, and I can already see people watching that they're super stoked too. Why don't you guys kind of talk about this, where it came from, and we'll get into some more details after that.
I'll leap in. I realised we've been working on this for about 3 years now, and the moment when I realised that we really needed to have sort of a gaff deck rather than just the mark deck is in one of Drummond's either specials, or I think it was on one of his YouTube clips. He performed McDonald's Aces, and I was quite excited to watch him do it. But I realised he was using bikes because we didn't have the gaffs available for performing it in the Elites format. So we can't have him using someone else's deck.
Yep.
So we realised that we needed to have a look at extending the Elites so that people would be able to perform all of those sort of classic gaff deck effects. And so we had to sort of go back to the drawing board and something I think that fits in. Works really well.
Well, we've got some guys out there saying they've got both the red and the green Elites already. So, and I know this was coming. We talked about it. We kind of hinted at it a few months ago, almost a year ago, I guess. And yeah, it's here. It is officially here. And how many actual gaffs do you get? We can get into some more specifics now. How many are actually in this deck, I guess?
So it's a beautiful blend. And actually, I think what we've really set out to offer with this deck is, I think there are many gaff decks on the market, and some of them have these very funky one-beat reveals or elements to them. We wanted to offer a gaff deck where actually you can go in so many different directions. You can flesh out whole existing routines, new routines, multi-phase routines with this deck. So we've included double backers, red-green double backers, blank face, blank back, double faces, mixed double faces, king aces, so 4 kings, 4 aces. You've got mixed value double faces for anniversary waltz. You've got misindexed face cards, which are some of my favorites for a routine we can talk about. We've got 8 wild card double face cards, Queen of Hearts, Ace of Clubs, 8 of those for wild card for what's some other various routines that need duplicate double faces. We've got 2 sets of McDonald's Aces for people that would like to play with that.
Nice.
And then we've got 2 slightly unusual additions that people can play with. One is just a lovely little piece. You have a card that you have someone choose a card. Let's imagine the 4 of Hearts. You lay the 4 of Hearts down on the table. They place their hand on it. Then you produce from your pocket a card that shows Harry Houdini in a cage. You take the card, you turn the card over, pause for a moment, and then as you turn it around, the cage door is now open and Houdini has gone. And then as they turn over that 4 of Hearts, he's then standing triumphantly on that 4 of Hearts. So we included that. And then in the name of 3-card Monty, which I've always loved, we included a version that actually uses an image of a coin. So you can do all the standard Monty moves, Garrett Thomas's incredible stand-up Monty routine, and then at the end there's this beautiful sequence where you effectively take the card with the image of the coin on it, and then as you turn it over, a real coin comes out, and that card is now blank. So it was just a version of the Monty that allows you to produce a coin at the end and just have that a slightly different final beat. So across the deck, you've got, like I say, all these traditional gaffs that can take you into traditional routines, but also just a handful of new ideas that can, you can take into new territory.
Nice. And Phil, I'm assuming here that you were the one tasked to make all this happen. I know that creatively you guys work together, but let's make no secret here. Phil is he's quite the designer. You've designed the DMC Elites. You guys work very closely. But I know that at the end of the day, it's kind of up to you to make this stuff actually come to life. So
I do all the colouring in. That's the division of labour. If there's a plane that needs jumping out of, I let DMC do that one. But if there's some pixels that need pushing, that's all on me. One of the things that we've always, I think we mentioned before, our goal with the Elites was to make the deck that was like the most usable for performing card magic. And so once we started looking at being able to do gaffs, our goal was to make the gaffs the best gaffs that we could do. And so it was really interesting being able to, for example, just something as simple as a double backer, being able to use the optical marking system to mark that it's double back, so you can immediately locate it in a spread of face down cards, is not something that you'd be able to do if you're using regular bikes. But even down to things where we're looking at cards which don't have a back, so we can't use our optical marking system, we've been able to use a very subtle kind of sort of like serif marking system and a face marking system, so that there's a card, for example, let me see if I can just real quick find one that I've got around just here. This card here is a completely standard double backer, and we use more or less standard USPCC faces. But if you were looking at this card from a spread of aces, because of the way that the ace is marked, or like on the value, you can immediately know that this is the double face. And not only that detail, it's way too small to be able to show on my phone cam, but there's actually on the outfit of the king a little tiny mark that says specifically what's the card that's on the reverse of it. Cool. Which means that when I was learning, like DMC mentioned, sort of Garrett Thomas's standard Monty is like the absolute best like Monty routine, but it's extremely complicated, and I know that a lot of people have struggled learning it because you get lost whilst you're performing it. It's so deceptive, the maneuvers that you're doing, that you end up in a position in live performance where you're like, oh, which one of these cards is the double facer? And so now we've hopefully been able to obviate that problem, is that you'll be able to do these sort of live checks whilst you're in the middle of performance. And I've done that a few times when I was performing back in the day round tables. Just goes wrong, but now I can check the moment I realize what's gone wrong. If I've lost track of which one it is, you can see from the faces which one is the double facer. Which
Luke,
is
this is black belt Phil Smith. This is Phil Smith at his most devious.
I love it. It's like every little attention to detail, and based on that, I wanted to say we had a nice.
He's obviously got great judgment. Appreciate that.
Duh. Oh man, DMC. Let me ask you. I mean, obviously this has got your name all over it. What is your favorite thing? You think, if there is one favorite thing from the whole Gaff set here that you go, that's my thing, that's my baby?
Do you know what? It's actually a driving force in getting the deck made in the first place. Was a routine that I started playing with a couple of years ago, and it's actually Phil's written up. So in addition to the deck, we also have the passports, as we've had with the Alphas deck, the deck that we have with letters, as we have with the V4s, the version 4 Elites. Phil has written up a passport to this deck. So in that, there's a number of routines, existing routines, and then, of course, a number of sources to go to learn more traditional routines. And there's one in there called the Hanging Card, which is something that I started playing with a year or two ago, and it uses the misindexed face cards, and it's effectively a super clean, it's a beautiful invisible deck, where effectively you need 3 cards, and you can do it with a deck, you can do it entirely without a deck. There's a few different handling options, but it's just a super clean, effectively slight twist to the invisible deck, but that only needs 3 extra cards to your existing deck. So that for me is something I'm doing a lot of right now, and it's just so clean, so hands off, so free, and you're just left at the end with whatever card they name. take it, turn it around, and it matches perfectly. So it's written up in the passport. It's called Hanging Cards, and I'm a big fan.
We're checking out the trailer here with you guys on screen. There was the Houdini thing you were talking about with the cage, and I'm standing.
Yeah, there he is.
Yeah. There we go. Some I like that you've included some classical stuff, but you've also added like this, some custom stuff in here too. Like, you know, you could do McDonald's Aces. You can do this as a type of Monty routine, which is cool.
Yeah, it's just, you know, I remember growing up, there's been so many gaff decks made by so many people, but a lot of them are very one beat tricks, you know, so one single thing happens and then you're left with one very unusual gaff. And I think with us, we wanted to leave that door open to people exploring so many different possibilities and the wealth of wildcard routines, Monty routines, whatever it's going to be, anniversary waltz handlings or whatever it was going to be. And I think this deck really does that. There's all the obvious routines, and then with just a little bit of thought, you can find dozens more to explore. So
cool.
It's something really to play with.
We've had a few friends watching over here. They've already gotten their hands on these, actually. Talon said that his just came in, so that's pretty cool. They're about to get down to the Pro Gaffs, get down to that. That'll be cool.
Good.
Of course, we've got a question lingering here. We might get to that later, Jason. There's some talk about death of, you know, some Netflix season 2 stuff. We'll get to that later. I don't know. We'll get to that later. Here's a question from Brady, actually. And I know that, Phil, you were just talking about the marking on the double facers, which is great. But are they marked on the back? So the cards that are, you know, there's like a specially printed thing on the front. Are the fronts marked? I mean, the backs marked in any way like the original ones were, the marked Elites?
Wherever possible, there is something on the card that says what's on the other side of the card.
Oh, wow.
Now, so for example, I've got, like I said, we double back. I don't know if anybody is familiar with reading the OMS, but people will surely be able to see, if they can, that one is not like a number or a value.
Does it say DB?
DB. So, yeah, exactly. So someone would be immediately able to read that. Let me find I've got a few bits and pieces. So, for example, when you perform the hanging cards, which is one of DMC's sort of feature pieces, you use, so right, this up on the screen, I've already said it, say a misindex card like this. So one of the issues with working with a misindex card, if this is face down on top of the deck, without necessarily having to look at the front of it, can be hard to tell which side is which.
Yeah.
So with this one, we've been able to, there we go, indicate which side of the card is which suit.
Smart.
So it's really nice, because we've already got the OMS built in, the optical marking system for these cards. We can add a lot of stuff in that maybe other marked, other gaff decks aren't able to.
Right on.
So I think it's really useful.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not surprised the attention to detail is there. I mean, you are, you know, at the top of your game with what you do. So we have a question coming in from a few guys I want to get to. This is really important because we're talking about attention to detail, the variety of stuff here. And Mark is asking, what's the price of this? Also, Jason Morales is asking about how much they are. Guys, this is only $20. And I think that's the biggest surprise of all this is you've got all this stuff wrapped up for $20. I mean, that's great. That's crazy.
Yeah, we wanted to keep it the same sort of price as the actual elites themselves, because it's part of that system. It's like an ecosystem of performance. And when you talk about attention to detail, it's a bit of a cheat because we've not just sat there in a room on our own coming up with a million different ideas. We've literally just talked to loads and loads of people who perform using these things and said, what do you want? What are the problems that you found? What can we do to make, performing magic better for you?
Yeah.
And it's clever to be able to talk about putting the stuff on the backs, for example. But it's not there just to be nice. It's because I've performed professionally in the past. And I hate it when I could have 12 great tables and then one table where something goes wrong. That's the table that I'm going to be able to remember at the end of the night. Not all of the people who loved it, but when I made a mistake. And by putting these things on the back of the deck, then I'm helping myself reduce the likelihood of that happening, avoid those mistakes. So that's the thing that we were aiming for. And people that we've spoken to have been concerned about the fact that Gaff decks are, they're expensive and you get maybe one of each useful card. Yeah. So if there's a card that you use in a professional performance and it gets dinged, you're going to have to spend another $30 buying that Gaff deck for that one card. So instead of doing that, we use like a double backer quite a lot, for example. So there's 3 double backers. So if one of them gets damaged in the middle of a gig, just get another one out. You're ready to go again.
Nice.
So I think that's something really worth mentioning is the refills that are included in one deck. So you've got 3 double backers, you've got 3 red-green double backers, 4 blank faces. Like I say, you've got 8 sets of wild cards. You've got 2 full sets of McDonald's aces. You've got 2 full sets of the misindexed court cards. So as Phil says, you're running around. A card gets wet or gets creased or whatever it might be. You can go straight back in and grab another one out. So it's really a deck filled with possibilities, but also a number of refills that are ready to go.
Love it. We've got a question coming in, and I know that Phil, you and I were confirming this before we started. Our friend over on YouTube, Farouk, is saying,
I'm ready.
Yeah, Phil, you go.
I'd love to. Can I show you something that I do quite a lot, which is called Dream Card. I picked this one because it works over Skype.
Perfect.
And so what I've got is just a regular deck of normal playing cards. But one of them, I want you to imagine, Luke, because I'm going to do this for you, Luke. I want you to imagine that one of them is different. One of the card deck is different, okay? And you're going to use your imagination. Just which one do you think it is? We've not spoken about this at all beforehand, so it's not like we've set this up. That would be the weakest thing to do.
Yeah.
Which one do you think it is?
I think it is the 8 of clubs. I think that's the one that is different.
The 8 of clubs. So I'm just going to show you guys as you look through, you'll see that there is, in fact, hopefully you can see this, only one card that is different in the deck. Through the whole deck, only the one card that's different. This is really awkward doing it at this angle. One card that's red. If this card is the 8 of clubs, I feel like that's pretty good.
Yes.
That's pretty good. The one red card in the deck, and they really are all the exact same color. For you to be able to name the one card that's a different color in here without any setup at all is quite impressive. It's not only impressive, it's impossible.
Yes.
In fact, it's so impossible that it never happened. You just imagined it, if you remember. You just imagined it. It was just a dream. And when you wake up, Luke,
love it.
No one's going to believe you.
Smart. Very smart. I got to be honest, that is one of the smartest ways to use a marked deck that there is. I just want to throw that out there. It's the undercover, out in the open. No one sees what's going on except you. And it kicks so much ass. That's awesome, dude.
It's so useful for this. I mean, this is a routine that uses, it's a red-green double back. I say share the dark, dirty secret of it. But it's so much impact. And because you're using the marks and the mark deck, that moment of revelation is really strong. So it's getting a kind of like a brainwave deck effect. But you just, rather than carrying a whole new deck, I've got that the one extra card set up in the card box. I can perform a whole load of stuff using the elites normally, put them back in the box, which sets it up.
Yep.
And then when I take it out, I'm ready to go with that as a closer. Just leave them with that idea.
So good. So good. And, it just goes to show, as you guys know, in DMC, is a professional in every sense of the word. Simple works, man. Simple fools, just works.
Yeah, very much. Yeah, very much.
Yeah.
So that routine is actually, it's in, I think we mentioned it, it's in this we've got this tiny book, the Passport.
Cool.
And we've tried to do this for all of the decks that we've done, the elites, the alphas, and now for the Gaff deck, because we spend so long at the beginning of this process coming up with ideas, using all of these props. And the absolute last thing that I want to have happen is for somebody to get this deck, go, that's cool, but I don't really, and then it just goes in the drawer. We've all got that drawer that's full of, these are pretty much all of them here, full of stuff that we never use. And it would kill me for somebody to get one of these decks and it just end up inside the crap drawer.
We've had some other people singing the praises too of this of the original Mark deck, obviously. Wayne is out here saying he's confirming with people that the markings are as good as they are, but also that the instructions, he's confirming here that the instructions are for the marking system is printed on a promo card inside the pack. So you can also pick up their Elite Passport, which teaches loads of tricks. So when it comes to learning this stuff, I want to make sure people understand you guys have decided to really help them out a lot and teach them everything they need to know using the marking system too.
Yeah, so so if somebody buys the DMC Elites, inside it on the face of the deck is a card which explains how all of the marks work. There's not a card that explains how the marks work in the Gaff deck, but because it's no use on its own, which is to assume everybody's already got this is for people who've already got the Elites. The Passport's available separately, so it doesn't come with the deck. So if somebody buys it, then I don't want them to be necessarily perplexed by the absence of all of those instructions.
Right. Cool. DMC, you're talking too much over there, man.
What's that?
So you're talking too much over there.
No, I was just trying to see. I was trying to see if I could show you the hanging card. I could sort of talk you through it. It's just going to be difficult, given the situation. But I can sort of talk you through it as though we were here.
Okay.
Let me try this. So you can, if nothing else, you'll get a. It's going to work. It's not really going to work. Okay, so I can talk you through. it. Is this working? Can you see these?
Yeah, it's a little blurred, but that's part of the effect with your camera. But it's okay.
So we're going to talk through it. This is going to exist. It's halfway between what you can see and what you can take my word for. But effectively, what's beautiful about the whole routine is you set the deck on the table, you set the box on the table, and touch neither. It can be in the middle of the table. There's nothing to be done. You explain you will never ever go near them. And Luke, let's try this with you. Imagine you're sat here with me right now. Every choice you make is your own. All right, this is very, very important. I will never go near the cards, near the box. Every choice you make is yours. All right.
Okay.
So imagine for a moment. And as we say this, I realize they're out of sight, but I promise there is nobody, nothing, anything going on with this. All right, they're just perched on the table.
Where's Daniel Garcia? Are you sure he's not under the table?
It's just the arm.
I said, are you sure Daniel Garcia's not under the table or something?
No, I promise. I'm
kidding.
They're safe. All is safe. Mr. Luke, imagine for a second 52 cards floating in the air. So imagine you're sat here with me. I'm looking towards you and I say all 52 cards floating in the air above us, all right? You've got the black cards, the red cards, the high cards, the low cards, all moving around, all right? You see all the faces, all shuffling, all moving around. And as you look up and you see those faces, I'm going to snap my fingers and either the red cards or the black cards are going to fall down to the table, all right? Now this is your choice, so take a moment, change your mind. It's red or black, your choice.
The black ones. The
black cards fall down. And as you see them fall down, Luke, you see them all bounce off the table surface, and they all incredibly land face up. All right, so all the black cards all over the table surface. I want you to look over those. You see the number cards, and you see the picture cards. All right, I want you to look down on all those black cards. You're going to reach up, and you're going to take out the number cards, so ace to 10, or the picture cards, Jack, Queen, King. All right, so again, change your mind. You have the picture cards or the number cards. Take a moment. You're going to pick up and take one of those.
The number cards.
Number cards. Reach up, take them away. We're done. And that, as you look down on the table, as you look down at the few cards remaining, we have the black picture cards.
Yep.
All right. 6 cards remain: the Jack, Queen, King of clubs, the Jack, Queen, King of spades. There is no wordplay here. Whatever you choose, that is it. That is your final choice. All right. And again, take my word for it. I will never go near what's on the table. As you do this, they will be in the middle of the table. But when you reach this stage, whatever it is, you have the Jack, Queen, King of spades, Jack, Queen, King of clubs. So to take a moment, whatever you name, that's the one. All right. So change your mind. You can change your mind until you name it. When you name it, that's it. All right? So jump around.
Okay, I think I
Your
got some.
choice.
Jack
Hands.
of clubs. Jack of clubs.
What would you like?
The Jack of clubs.
Jack of clubs, if you're happy with this. And again, I can promise you nothing will have gone near it. What I would ask you to do live, I would ask you to reach down, simulate picking up the Jack of clubs, all right? And with nobody having gone near this, I would ask you to take the Jack of clubs and touch it to the box.
Mm-hmm.
And as you do this, reach out like this. There is a single card. All right, now this it's very, very hard to show this cleanly with this camera, but I promise you,
There you go.
nothing in the box, one single card. We went, what did we went? Black picture card, and then you said?
The Jack of clubs.
Jack of clubs, and we have the Jack.
Yes, DMC.
So, super clean, super fair, never touch it, never go near the box. That's all it is. And like I said, we sort of touched on what's used in this routine, but just that, the freedom within that, and the fact that, to those that know, of course, the equivoque comes first, then the final choice is usually equivoque comes last, and there's a slight sense of that.
Yes.
With this, what's so beautiful is that the final choice is so free. It sort of lends the idea that the others are free as well, if that makes sense. So it's just super clean. It's that sort of end of an evening, and people have seen, you know, you touch nothing, you do nothing. It's all imagination, and then you just have that super clean single card reveal.
That's what's so crazy about this, is that that is a trick. If you know the market like I do, that's pretty much a trick you could sell for almost $20 just by itself. I mean, let's just be honest.
I think so. I mean, it's that powerful. It's to all intents and purposes, and actually, the scenario we went through was probably the least favorable of the four options. Mm-hmm. But it just feels so clean. They make every choice, the freedom of the last six cards, and then the singularity of that reveal. It's super, super powerful. You leave it, that's it. There's nowhere to go. It's often, if I'm doing close-up magic, I'll finish with this, and then that's it.
Nice. It's again, guys, that's just one of the things in this Gaff set, and we have it all listed on the product pages. Any of those websites out there, magic shops, have it all listed. What's included here? You're getting a hell of a lot of stuff. This is just one of those things that's in there. And what a bonus today. First, I didn't know if DMC was going to make it. Not only did he make it, he just showed us something. And then Phil, as another bonus, showed us something else. You guys can't complain today. You didn't get just one demo. You got two. So, I mean, yeah.
It's just, I mean, you know, as we said before the call, we've been working on this for years and years. We've had so many setbacks. We've had every manner of complication and problem and disasters on this one deck. The project has been so cursed in so many ways, and we are just so proud now to be in a position to share this with people and to have, you know, effectively a deck that gives you dozens of different routines and directions to go, be it mentalism, visual close-up, you know, card magic, whatever it is. It's a really, really beautiful moment. We love the V4s. We're very proud of all of the elites, but this is really just blows the door open in terms of where you can now take whatever style of magic it is that you do with the elites.
Absolutely, and we are stoked to have these now. We are going to have the Pro Gaffs and the Passport as well. So that'll be, I don't know if we have the Passport listed just yet, but I know that we do have the Pro Gaffs on the site at the moment. That is where you can find more routines in the Passport's book, is more routines in that.
There's more routines, and as I said before, you know, it also quotes a lot of resources to go and follow up, you know, some of the more traditional routines that you can find the books and the materials to go and really study from the masters in those fields.
Absolutely. And you guys, the best part about it is Phil Smith, the designer, made it look and feel just like a real passport too. That's the cool part about these passport booklets, is that they look and feel just like a passport. So
that's it.
Yeah. As we start to wrap up, I do want to nudge you just a little bit. Obviously, you guys know DMC, Netflix. I mean, there's enough said. The guy, I'm surprised he's still sitting here because I'm surprised he's not jumping out of a plane or something right now. He's always doing something crazy. So, any updates, news on stuff we can find?
I wish we. All I can say is we are on the. It was meant to be last. It was meant to be 2 weeks ago. It was Thanksgiving, and then effectively we're in the final stages of the budget negotiations for the new show.
Okay.
It's. I can't really say anything about it, but it's certainly on a level with everything I've done before. It's a concept for magic that I really wrote up 6 years ago. 2013, I wrote this down as a concept, and it's been. If I do nothing else in magic but create this next show, I'm done. I can finish on that. It's a really beautiful new direction for magic. It's a new evolution, I think, of the genre. Others have touched on it as a concept, but it's never been a show that carries this idea. So all I can say is we're in the final throes of the really slow, clumsy paperwork stage, and then I'm hoping early next year I go back to Los Angeles, we fire it up, and then I would guess a year or so later, probably end of next year, early 21, that'll then be launching. So it's some way to go yet, but it's just I'm just so excited to really make what's been my dream in magic for now so many years. So that tells you. I realize that tells you everything and nothing, but it's a really wonderful concept that is a very new direction for everything.
Cool. Well, if you guys haven't yet, you could binge watch Death by Magic on Netflix. It's a lot of fun. He's here now, but there's a lot of stuff on there where I'm like, man, is this dude gonna make it? Because he does some really.
Yeah. People don't really know. People don't really know that we use paramedics on 3 out of the 8 stunts. So as much as elements of magic are in play, it got very real a number of times.
I believe it. Something can always go wrong. Go wrong. Yeah, man.
They do.
Well, I want to give you guys big thank you. Obviously, DMC, you're out and about. Thank you. I know you're having an evening out with the family, so thanks for spending some time here. Again. Appreciate it. And Phil, obviously, you're just a rock star, man. Keep doing what you're doing, man. We love you, and can't wait to see what else you guys have for us in 2020 and beyond.
More coming. Much more coming.
Awesome.
Awesome.
All right,
yeah.
Sweet.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Luke.
Thank you, and thank you. I'll catch you guys next time. All right.
Christmas.
See you. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Yes. All right, my friends. I want to give a big shout out again to the guys that joined me. DMC, man, the dude rocks. Definitely check him out on Netflix if you haven't yet. His Death by Magic. It's like not magic. It's just crazy. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I love the dude. And Phil Smith, obviously check out his work. It's everywhere. He's just amazing at what he does. And yeah, so you guys can get that now. $20 for the DMC Elites Pro Gaffs. I mean, come on, that's like a steal. People were saying earlier, most Gaff decks are like $30 and over. I mean, obviously, yes. So get that now. And also want to give you guys update. We are next week back again. I've got Peter Egging joining me live from Holland. These are, again, the Elites Pro Gaffs. You can see him here. But there's our man, Peter Egging. We're going to talk magic, talk about some consulting. He's actually an illusionist by trade. People don't know that. Magic creator, and we're going to talk about some new magic with him too. But again, do check these out, the DMC Elites Pro Gaffs. Very cool stuff. As you saw, we got 2 demos. If you're just joining us, watch the replay, you can see 2 of the tricks done by the guys. Also, one little thing I'm going to say on the way out of here. One, if I don't see you guys before Christmas, hope you have a good one. I know I'll be back next week. But also, just a quick note, from the Murphy's family to the Aronson family, that shit hit me hard yesterday. Simon Aronson, another living legend, no longer with us. Not cool. I'm still getting some goosebumps on that one. I can't believe it. One of the most creative guys we've ever had when it came to card magic, and a big heart that was just as big as his brain and the genius that he shared with us. So check out his books and all of his resources that are out there. Damn it. That's all I got to say. Damn it. I love that man. He was just a gentle soul. And our thoughts go out to his wife, obviously. Thinking about her during this time of year, it's got to be really hard. And it was family and close friends. So you will be missed, Mr. Simon Aronson, for sure. So from our family to the Aronson family, we're sorry. All right. So that's going to do us for today. Thank you guys for the feedback, hanging out, questions, and a big, big thank you again to DMC and Phil Smith. Those guys rock. So I'm going to run out of here. Yes, I'm going to run. All right, guys. I will catch you next time. See ya.